of the year for you guys so far. Everything that's going on around it, ranked matchup, sold-out crowd. How do you make sure that that doesn't get too big and you guys stay focused?
Yeah, I think, you know, in preparation for this game, you know, we're approaching it just like we have all season. You know, Coach keeps preaching that it's a one-game season. So, you know, we're just coming to practice every day, preparing, watching film, making sure the team's ready. And, you know, we all know that nothing else really matters aside from what's inside this building. So we just kind of keep it that one-game focus and prepare like it's any other week.
Yeah, I think you just got to continue to prepare like it's anybody else. I think when you start to get outside of a mindset and you start to over-focus on a team and what they have to offer, then you kind of get out of your own scheme. We're just going to play our game and do what we've been doing all season, continue to play our ball.
Bryan, you're a multi-sport athlete. Given what you do outside of football, how important do you feel playing that sport is, given the position you play?
Yeah, I think it's really important. You know, I think it really benefits me just as a whole athlete, you know, being able to play another sport and everything that has to offer. It's very similar as far as, you know, in the weight room, as far as just the whole athlete and kind of what I do on a daily basis. So, you know, I definitely think with footwork, flexibility, you know, body awareness, explosiveness, and so many other things that, you know, they both complement each other, and it helps me out in O-line play.
Were either of you guys recruited by Notre Dame? And considering their national reputation, national TV, Saturday night, does that add any juice at all to the game?
I guess I'll start. I mean, yeah, but both times around. I think it's an exciting team. It's a legendary team. So I wouldn't say it brings anything extra to the table for me. It's more of just another big game against a good team who's going to bring the fight to us, and we're going to make sure to give an exciting game, I think, for our fans, and like I said before, continue to play our ball, and we're excited here.
They recruited you both out of high school and out of Florida?
Yes, sir.
Did you visit either time?
I visited back in high school. Come the portal time, I think once I kind of found out Bryan was coming here, I think that was done deal, and we signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah, I was recruited by them out of high school also, took some visits there, but like Steven, I wouldn't really say it adds any more juice than to this week than there already was. I think that, you know, we all know it's a big game. There's, like y'all said, there's a lot of hype around the game and everything. They're a really good team, and I believe we are as well, so I think it'll be a really exciting Saturday night, and we're excited to put on a show.
Steven, in 2 of the last 3 games, the defensive line has done a pretty decent job at kind of bottling up the run for the opposition. How do you parlay that momentum against Notre Dame, where you have to face an offensive lineman who's an All-American and a really good power back in Austria Estime?
I think this entire O-line, along with the back, and the quarterback is a veteran. This offense knows how to operate at a veteran level all across the board. I think with that being said, the trenches is going to be where this game is decided on both sides of the ball, both teams. I think we have to bring it to them just like we've been doing. Like every week you try to limit your mistakes, but I think especially this week in a team that's so run-heavy, we're going to try to limit our mistakes, play big in our gaps all across the board, and everybody's got to win their one-on-one matchups.
Steven, before the season, you talked a little bit about what a unique place Stanford is, but they aren't all in football necessarily. To have this kind of game, this high-profile game, you're both nationally ranked. It'll be the first sellout in the stadium. Is this sort of like the perfect storm of things coming back together for you and coming back home?
Yeah, honestly, after last week, being away, I mean, remember at Stanford, like Stanford's, I don't know if you guys know, Stanford's nickname for their stadium is the library. It's not exactly the most fun place to play at home. I really enjoyed away games there. But being back here in a place that I watched games growing up, and my dad went here, so being able to see this, and it's come full circle, being here with the Brahms and guys I've seen around over the years, and kind of being able to compete with this. I didn't really grow up a Louisville fan, but seeing how these fans come week in and week out and support us, and even on the road, I'm so excited for this week. I'm excited for it to be sold out. I'm excited for the juice that our fans are going to bring and how we're going to build off the momentum.
Steven, obviously Sam is at a different program from last year when he was at Wake, but obviously Louisville did have a lot of success against him. Have the guys talked about that at all, or how does that kind of factor into, you know, just the vibe right now in terms of what you guys want to do and getting to him?
Yeah, I think that's an inevitable thought on both sides. I think last year they had so much success against him as a guy, and whether no matter what, when you go against somebody the year before, they maybe rattled you a little bit, or they got to you, or however it may shake out. I think you always remember that in the back of the head, whether you had a good game or a bad game. You take what you learned from last year and you try to enter the next year with just some thoughts in the back of his mind. So I would imagine he's coming in, he knows who we are for sure. He's going to watch his film this week. He understands. But like I said before, he's a veteran quarterback. I would imagine that he plays through the jitters here. I don't think that's going to really rattle him too much. I think it's on to a new season for him. He's playing good ball, and I'm excited for him to play.
Your impression of ACC quarterbacks, and how do you feel like what you've seen so far prepares you all for a guy like Sam Hartman, and maybe for some of the other quarterbacks that you'll see down the road?
I think the more I see the ACC quarterbacks, and the more we go against them here, just a lot of athletic guys. Whether some of them are more pro style, but they can all get away. With that being said, everybody can get away from you here. You have to aim high on the upfield shoulder. You have to be able to be ready to drop your hips and make plays. I just think that the ACC as an entirety, as a whole, has some really good quarterbacks. And this week against him, like I said, like I keep saying, he's a veteran guy, and it shows up everywhere in his games. It shows up in his reads. It shows up in how he's looking downfield, whether he wants to get the ball out when he's rolling to a certain direction, whether he wants to go for the run. He's a pretty smart guy, and I think pre-snap, he has a lot of things going through his head, and he's making decisions. He's a really good decision maker, and I think that he's, again, a veteran quarterback who's going to make plays, and we're going to have to do the same against him.
Yeah, Stephen, Ramon Puryear is another guy who's local and off to a really strong start this year. Just what have you noticed about him, and even Bryan, if you've noticed something about him that's kind of impressed you about him this season?
Ramon is a guy that I kind of knew coming in just from high school and stuff like that. He's a competitor. He grinds out everything. He finishes play. He's a big effort guy. Seeing that throughout winter, when I first got here in the weight room, getting into spring ball and into fall camp, he's just been consistent. I think that's a name that a verb that comes to mind, an adjective that comes to mind when I think of Ramon is Mr. Consistent. He's consistently putting on good tape and doing his job, doing his 111th, and I don't think you can ask for anything better. And his play this year has been fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been one of the really consistent and reliable guys on the D-line. He's definitely made a lot of progress since he first got here, and even since when I first got here 3 years ago. He's made a lot of progress himself, and he's gotten himself to be a really, really good player and really reliable for our D-line.
Given you're from the city, do you feel like guys like yourself have added pressure from the fans to perform in big-time games?
I think if so, I think it's all self-driven. I don't think the fans are necessarily putting that on. I think our fans are intense all across the board. They're intense for whether you're from Timbuktu or whether you're from the heart of the city. They want to see you come out and make plays and continue to play your best ball. And we talk about that every week. Bryan brings it to us every single week. You have to play the best game that you've played to date. I'm not talking from this season or your college career. The best game you've played to date. Put it on tape every single week. And I think being from the city makes it that much better. Getting to compete in front of people who I feel like have supported me and supported hometown kids and more or less this university for my entire life has been amazing, and being able to come back and play for it and play for these fans is great.
Yeah, you guys have come from behind to win 2 games. A third one was decided in the fourth quarter. What kind of benefits does that provide for a team in terms of confidence and team building and unity and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think it's huge for us, especially early on in the season. We had to do it game 1 on the road, so having to have come back on the road, especially at a place like NC State, I think was huge for our team. And we, like you said, we've done it all season, so that just, I think, builds confidence. It brings the team together in the locker room. At halftime this past week was fantastic. We had leaders stepping up, making sure the team stays together, and it's something that's been as good as it's been better than it has since I've been here. So I think that's definitely an area where we've improved as a team, and I think that's a tribute to the staff and just the leaders on this team, being able to keep this team together in times like that. And going into big games like this, it does give us some confidence and just knowing that we can trust the guys next to us, that we're not going to get down, that it's always a next play mentality, and we're going to give it 100% effort on every snap, to go win the game.
Steve, obviously, you guys are. Oh, sorry, dude.
I was going to say about the same thing, so you're all good. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm so sorry. But obviously, you guys are growing up here in the state right now with Louisville being 5-0, Kentucky being 5-0. I guess what does that just mean or say about the state of college football here? And then, both of you guys have really big opportunities against two really good teams. So what kind of, it's just kind of vibe does that add, or I guess what does that mean to be able to have that kind of a platform right now?
Honestly, it's great. I think it's great for the state. I think for a state that's always been kind of looked at as like a basketball state, this entire region, really, and to be able to play some really good football this year and continue to put it on tape. Kentucky's had some good years. I've been watching from afar. They've had some good years in the past, and Louisville's been playing good ball. I think both of these schools are excited for where they're at, and they've got some great coaching staffs that are excited to bring the love of football back to the state. I'll leave it there. We're excited to see them at the end of the season.
Kind of as a follow-up to that, if you look at recruiting rankings, I don't think there's a top 100 player in the state. How do you explain the success both of these programs are having at this point, and do you think it's sustainable?
Yeah, I definitely think it's sustainable. I'll speak for us. I think our staff does a really good job in recruiting and, just relaying to recruits all around the country what this city can bring for them personally, and just, the value that they can add to the city. I think, like I said, they've done a really good job, and I think that's a tribute to Coach Brom and the recruiting staff that's been here. But, Coach Brom has come in here and changed and improved the culture of this team, and kind of, brought the Louisville pride to this program, and I think that's filtered out through recruiting, and they're communicating that well, and it's showing in the players that they're bringing in.
Pretty similar answer. I think guys from this state. I think when you get to college, the rankings kind of go out the window. So everybody's playing their brand of ball. There's still a learning curve when you come in. I mean, I'm a big believer in that. Football is football is football. No matter where you go, football is going to continue to be the same brand of ball. You have to learn how to compete at a higher level with better athletes in a little faster game. So all of the guys going into college, I think everybody has to kind of learn that. So you see a lot of guys who go to bigger or smaller schools, and they all end up at the same place. It's a matter of how hard you work and the amount of effort you're willing to put in when you get there. So I think that the amount of recruiting that this school does, regardless of stars or stature in the recruiting game, is amazing. Brom has always been a great recruiter to me. I think even from my first experience with him back in high school, he's always been somebody who's personable. This entire staff has been somebody, I've seen them at different places. They're all personable guys that I feel like you believe. I feel like in recruiting there's kind of a back and forth where, you're always getting told what you want to hear on both sides. But this is a staff that I feel like you can trust, you can believe in, and that they're going to have what's best in mind for you and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your